On April 1st, I was too busy working on garbage videos that I didn't want to make for people that stopped watching my content ever since I decided to remove the fat furry asses from the thumbnails. I decided to relax, watching something on one of the dystopic subscription-based services because everything has to be rented these days, otherwise life will be livable. Now, I only have Netflix because of my friends and family. I don't really care about that platform because half the movies and series they have are either boring, uninteresting, or they're just propaganda for whatever New World Order is conquering the Western world that's trying to black mud, gender ban, uglify all of mainstream media, trying to guilt trip the masses into obedience. But I'm just exaggerating, nothing like that exists. I log into my profile and I see coming up next, Devil May Cry, branded with a giant N on the top left, as if the franchise has been turned into cattle ready for the slaughter. It's kind of a fitting metaphor because the show is directed by ShAnkAR's, the mastermind that worked on the Marvelized Castlevania animated series that I could've sit past half the second season due to how soul-crushingly boring it was, and that Far Cry Blood Dragon Edge Runners ripoff, the one with furry Black Lives Matter, and every single one of your Ubisoft heroes mutilated and repurposed to be as awful as possible. Addy somehow managed to destroy everything we've ever loved from Ubisoft. Somehow worse than Ubisoft. And now he managed to have the DMC franchise on his greasy street vendor hands. I can just imagine how the idea of giving the franchise to Netflix came to the mind of Capcom executives. Alright though, in the other hemisphere, fucked in the brain children like wacky multicolored shooter. We have a wacky character game that shoot can make us more client. So then they had the bright idea to fire everybody that worked on the previous games and let a bunch of gaijins turn the franchise into a generic fuck the state pseudo-anarchist pipe bomb pipe dream. Didn't this already happen and it fucking sucked? What kind of show is Netflix Devil May Cry? Honestly, one half of me expected it was going to be a soulless action flick that wouldn't convey even a quarter of the soul of the original. My other half thinking it was going to take a sharp turn as shitty sub-political commentary. And guess what? For once in my life I was right both times.
Why would you bring demons back to headquarters alive?
Because they're refugees, sir.
And the idea of refugees from hell did not immediately strike you as contradictory?
Do we really want to delve further? I could just walk away and pretend this never happened, except this crap is getting a season 2, and I now represent for what type of business practices Capcom's going for now. Oh, would you look at that? All the DMC games are on sale on Steam. Curious. All the Netflix kids' money is going to be flowing in like crazy. It works so well for Ubisoft. Come on, let's just jump in. It's already been a century since the last vid, and when I'll be done it will already be out of trend, as per usual. The show begins with a heist in, hey, I know this place. Why are the Swiss Guard in ceremonial clothes? Didn't know they switched to firearms and tactical training after a right-wing racist Turk that definitely had no religious intention attempted murder on the Pope. It wasn't like this until 1981. Devil May Cry takes place in the modern day, so either this show takes place at the start of the 80s, which from ShAnkAR's fetish for all things retro it probably is, or the designers of this dumpster fire just googled Vatican Army and just went with the first image they found. But I'm just nitpicking, let's just go forward. I like how this guy points his lance to a bunch of heavily armed guys as if he's got a chance. Paint this man in a Caravaggio and place him next to St. Peter. The robbers are then greeted by the main villain, the White Rabbit. Now this guy pisses me off. He's supposed to be from the manga, except he's not even a character. It's basically just a possessed plushie toy that just speaks 3 words and then dies. Adi could have easily gone with Arkham, but no, he went for the plushophile's dream. Either for furry bay like he's done before, or he just needed a random character to turn into his suicidal domestic terrorist self-insert like he's done before.
Americans, the most dependable of your species. Anything that doesn't fit your narrow understanding, you shoot, bomb, or burn without hesitation.
Whoa, not even 3 minutes in and Adi already slipped in some of his own personal accusatory mental wanks. Why does it gotta be just the Americans though? What about Russia? Or China? Or any superpower for the matter? I guess it's because the Americans have the world record of most sand people turned into Lego bricks.
Hell as you call it, has always been the true heart of human religion. You can curb the worst of your savageries only through collective fear and hatred of another world. My world.
Yes, No Bunny, your world! The same world you helped your immigrant demon friends escape from because it's that much of a shithole! Let me jump a few episodes forward. Half this show is worthless anyway. In episode 6, we check says backstory spoon feeding for the White Rabbit, and Lady too, because they just couldn't leave me with more than a heartache. It is revealed that the White Rabbit, back in his age where he could have been deemed legal by Netflix standards, he was simply just a little human orphan with an Alice in Wonderland book. A prodigy for all things mechanical, except he was bullied by his stepbrothers and abused by his stepmother and his stepfather taking off the belt one too many times, you get it. It's a cliche that had the obligation of being part of morally grey villain's backstory.
Nigga, did I just catch you wanting to be shit?
What a bad life this kid is living. If only a magic portal that will take him to a different dimension appeared out of nowhere. Until one day, a magic portal that will take him to a different dimension appeared out of nowhere. Man, can't these writers just bear to not drive the narrative with a bunch of and thens? Does everything just have to happen without a cause? But I'm in no position to critic. After all, what do I know about writing? So in the style of Alice in Wonderland, the child has the bright idea to just see for himself how deep the rabbit hole goes. He get teletransported to Makai, what should have been the demon world, except not, apparently. As this excessively expository dialogue in episode 4 says,
Makai, you call it the demon realm, or hell, but it's not hell. It's worse.
Thank you, Miss Infodump. The world of Makai is hosted by these Power Rangers SPD backdrops called the Makaians, which are basically humans, except they look different. What the fuck? What are these Star Wars side extras doing here? In the manga, it was specifically stated that the world was split into two. The demon world representing darkness and chaos, and the human world representing light and order. One day, the king of the world of darkness thought it would be a good idea to unite both worlds into one, and so the door between the two worlds was opened once again. Except the demons were more powerful than the humans, and since they had no chance against the world of darkness, they started to succumb to its tyranny, until right at the brink of extinction, one devil swore to protect humanity, the weak, at all costs. The legendary Devil Knight Sparta. But this is Eddie Shankar we're talking about, and there is no such thing as black or white. So in order to make things grayer and gayer, he made his own fucking custom race like his modding Skyrim. So Makai, also known as Not Really Hell, is full to the brim with powerful demons, and there are warlords that are tyrannically ruling over the land. Sounds oddly familiar. It's too easy to put a humanoid race in the middle that is essentially humans in every way, shape, and behavior that just acts as another way to insert a metaphor for immigration, classism, racism, you know, the usual, to, I repeat, guilt trip the audience in more accusatory dialogue.
There is no better world for us. Sapiens hate and fear our kind. We'll never be able to mix openly amongst you.
Well, if the first contact the whole of humanity had with demons was the Vatican getting bombed, no shit they don't want your kind here. Allahu Akbar! Anyway, Shota White Bunny gets welcomed by the third race. Makai demonstrates itself being a bad place to live in, almost worse than India. People get enslaved, cannibalized, children die. Oh my god, children die! What is it with Eddie and his obsession with killing children right in front of the camera?
Children rarely survive their first year.
We did it so our children could live. The children who are orphans. He does tests on them.
I guess it's his way to force edge into his otherwise bland screenplay. He builds a portal opener to the human world with garbage he found on the ground, because hell apparently has enough electronic scrap to build a fucking Metal Gear, and he starts helping the demon people crossing the border. Hell, he is so kind he even helps them loot shops like it's a peaceful demonstration of human rights. Until one day his Rick and Morty portal gun malfunctions right as it was chased by the most generic demon design I've ever seen in my entire life. They cross the portal and they get ambushed by Darkcom, an independent dimensional security firm and anti-demon organization funded by private investors such as main villain of the show Vice President Dark Brandon the Evil Christian, squad manned by none other than Lady herself, which in the same episode we find out that she basically wanted to be a demon hunter since the beginning. She didn't even have to wait for her father to turn evil. In this show she's been devout on total demon death day one. Didn't she turn into a devil hunter only after his father sacrificed her mother to Satan? Except in the show, Arkham is not a scholar of the black arts. He's just a curious science man putting demon blood in vials to become a vampire, I guess. Nah, I'll take it. Like I've taken in the ass so far. Anyways, after Lady's father went full digger and started digging, Lady joined Darkcom in the hopes to become a demon hunter. And she does, quickly soaring through the rankings, killing one demon after the other, like a true American policeman. One day, she traces the location of a smuggling operation, not even gonna question how or why these people are selling demons. Through this operation, she tracks down the warehouse that White Rabbit probably uses as a safe house. Hold on, what is the connection between demon trafficking and the White Rabbit's illegal immigrant operation? Who and where did they get those demons from? The same guy that's trying to save them? So much shit happening, not explained, not connects, but whatever. Darkcom kills everybody because professionals are trained to shoot through a crowd of people to defend themselves. Then Darkcom blows up the whole place and the White Rabbit becomes insane. And now the White Rabbit swears to bring down Darkcom by any means necessary, and by any means includes experimenting on the people he swore to save. And trying to open the gates of hell so all the bigger demonios from Makai can turn Earth into Baghdad too.
How the fuck did he open the gates of hell without the Temen groove? It's not like it's the whole fucking plot point of Devil May Cry 3.
That in the end there will be no safe place for the Makaians to illegally immigrate to. ShAnkAR clearly wanted to make a morally grey villain, but this guy really comes out as an hypocritical idiot that shoots himself in the foot.
What a fucking idiot! It's always these guys!
There is this one scene where they capture I forgot who he was and the VP of the United States, and the rabbit's like, "Good evening, fellow sapiens. You have 2 minutes to activate your devil trigger before the plane crashes into the World Trade Center." Nah, too easy. And then Rabbit starts shit-talking how much Sparta is an idiot for locking the passage from the underwater, subsequently locking away the Makaians. Then we find out, not even an episode later, that he's secretly locking demon kids in the basement to let her mangle their asses. This is not morally great, this is just beyond retardation. Is this what Adi really meant when he said, "I am the White Rabbit"? At this point, there is not really anything to add. I could start spurging about each episode, but really, the whole plot of the series revolves around Lady and his band of useless cosplayers.
Fucking bloody.
You are fucking, you bloody.
And the White Rabbit's terroristic antics. I'm sure there's a Red Cape hero somewhere, but he's too busy getting slammed around like a ragdoll to really have any importance of the series. You really want me to talk about him? The protagonist? He's a Redditor, alright? No confidence, no skill, just crappy references to real-life shows and video games like he's a discount Deadpool. I really hope fans are in love with Adi turning him into a disposable toothbrush, destroying every aspect of his character to turn him into the clown that he is now, moving at the back of the bus to let Milady take the wheel, just to get shot in the legs, lip syringe, and cryogenically frozen in return. With heroes like this and anti-heroes like that, I found myself actually rooting for Barnes. Think about it, if Makai is such a horrible place where people get constantly murked and conquered by their own kind, what difference does it make if the humans do it? At least they can get something productive out of it, unlike the demon warlords who seem to just party hard like it's a furry convention. Minus the STDs. Make sure there's good villains, my ass. Everyone on the demon side just has his frontal lobe consumed by hebetism. Even the double agent under ransom.
No, what are you doing? I had to. He got to my daughters. And now he's going to destroy the whole world. You've condemned us all. What good is saving the world if I can't save my own family?
Keep this man away from a trolley problem. He'd detonate a SAR bomba. And everyone says he's the bad guy? Irony wants that in the entire runtime, the genocidal psychopath is the one that made the most sense between the entire cast, no matter how much the show is trying to make the viewer hate him. Vice President Barnes forgot Emperor of Mankind. What else is there to say that hasn't been said 1,000 times already? Asmongold? Adi had the balls to include Asmongold in his personal self-patting on the shoulder show because he's not like the late-night talk show puppets who spread lies in Discord. As if Asmongold isn't a commentator, here to cash in on Gamergate 2. Keep spitting facts, truth has a resonance. The truth being, Adi? Diversity hires with a god complex fucking up beloved franchises just because? I'm gonna be honest, Adi ShAnkAR, he's been living rent-free in my head the last 15 15 months. Not because he left us staying in some of my favorite franchises as brown and smelly as him, but because it shocks me how a man that worked on that amazing Punisher short and as a producer for Dread ended up making this, and this, and this. What the fuck happened to his mind? Has he been buck-broken by Comicsgate? Or is it that behind the mask of a charming little bunny of a man, there's always been an egomaniac whose sole purpose is to keep everybody under his feet, not necessarily because he's Indian? I'm honestly shocked how many people expected this show to be good, and even more to how some are satisfied with it. What kind of RTS-infested bitch will be so twisted in the head to enjoy this? Alright, I'm on Pinterest. Can I really blame true Devil May Cry fans for letting this happen? They don't have power over Capcom's awful choices. Will they complain? Will they comply? I don't fucking know, I'm not a visionary, but I do hope that this shitty animation sends the franchise into another 6-year coma, so that something much better may come afterwards. It's the only thing I can pray for, otherwise, it's all downhill from now on.